What are we waiting for? Like we can start off the.
Yeah. Okay. So just 1 second.
What?
So
I'll try to pick up my phone and call him up if required.
I did, but he didn't receive, Hitesh.
Okay.
So I think maybe Hitesh, why don't you just begin and give us a background of what's happening and why we are like in such a big crisis right now?
Rather that way, like Richie, I'll prefer if we can know what are the apprehension, what can clarify most of the things.
Okay, so what I'll do is I'll give a context, Hitesh, and then maybe we can ask questions to people if they have any queries around this. See, what has all of you, thank you for joining. I understand that there is a lot of hue and cry which is happening here. We keep on sending messages and then you all may feel, "Arey, itna spam kar rahe hain." So what is this all about? Why are we so worried about what's happening? I'll give you a context. The IRMA Alumni Association was established 38 years back. Now, this association was registered as a society in the Gujarat Societies Act as well as in the Bombay Societies Trust Act. Okay. Now, what the procedure for following any or making any such society is that there are a lot of compliances that need to be followed. Now, what are these compliances? It's like every year the elections have to be held, because this is because the bylaws or whatever the rules were given, they say that every year election will be held. So now if
See the point.
Yeah, Hitesh.
No, your bandwidth is low. You can.
Yeah, just let me
switch off your
complete
video.
and then maybe you can add. Okay. So so what has happened is that in these past 38 years, no compliances were made. So the first group of people who formed this particular society, they are still the trustees of this particular society. And when we went last year, when we approached the charity commissioner to ask him, or to get the compliances done, he asked us to give all the previous committees information, all the information on when all the elections happened, who all were the people who became the members and everything. So all information was needed. Now, when we tried to find out in the back end as to whether that information is available to us, we realized that we do not even know. Okay. So we do not. So what we realized was that we do not even know who all were the members, who were the committee members, basically, who formed these committees in the previous years. We do not have full information. So we have some bits and pieces. We could only figure out the financial statements that were available every year, because that was supposed to be audited. So that got done. And we do not know whether actually who was the like the president in certain cases, who were the other committee members, zonal members and all that. So this is in terms of the compliances. Now what has happened is in this process, if some of you have been following what has happened, Mr. Nimen has been writing a lot of information. So half of the information is like it's too complicated, and we also are still figuring out what he's trying to say, because he says that this is the rule and that is the rule. But I'll tell you what exactly is the process that has been followed in terms of how it should be, if there is any change that needs to be done in the bylaws. Now, why do we need a change?
Richie, leave it to you here. I'll just add to it.
Okay.
See, every time after the election, the new elected body was supposed to file the change in trustee report with the Assistant Commissioner Charity. That is a normal procedure, but it was never done. So when we thought like we should still stick to the legal parts of it, and we wanted to remain legally compliant, when we approached the ACC, then we came to know, we dug out the whole piece of information, Out of the 7 original trustees, 3 have gone to the god, 4 are left. Out of the 4, 2 are abroad, Parthasarthi and Eugene, and Anand Sheshan is here. That is the situation. And what Assistant Commissioner Charity wanted, until unless every year we have filed the things, then we need to give the proof how the election has taken place, who are the people elected, then this your change report is valid. This is a Herculean task. Okay, we still try to do it. And as you is nobody in the IRMA who has been assigned this job to keep the data updated for the IRMA alumni association. There is no IRMA alumni office exist as it is in IRMA today. So there was nobody keeping the records. The last time the person who handed over to Alok's subordinate, he just gave some files. Me, Richie, Mohan, and whenever we had time, we went through the record by record, whatever the document we could get. So then we realized only out of 38 times, 14 times the committees have been formed. And most of the time, there is no proof how the election taken place except for the last few years. So we thought of like having the second option on the same. Second option is you file the report again. And when the second time is not accepted, then you ask for the request the ACC to give the direction to seek direction from the court and seek the condonation. That is what we have been trying. Okay, since we had got the financial audited balance sheets record, I went to personally to that our bank initial and met the bank manager to get the data. All these things we did. Most of the data was not available. Even the banks don't have the record of so old transactions. But whatever we got, we made a report again, and we convinced him that we have been filing the financial balance sheet every year, and you can see the different people have been signing. So assuming that they were the president and secretary or treasurer, this is a record we shared with him, which again, we had a ill luck. The guy got changed just before these elections, Gujarat elections. A day before, then he was supposed to give the clearance to us. That is what the fact is. But as per this trust acts are concerned, like there's a normal practice of change of trustee report is to be filed every time after the election. And what is the procedure adopted? The election report has also to be filed to keep the government system in the loop, which has not been done. So after that, if we seek condonation from the court or the commissioners, then we can say, okay, we have filed now. Maybe the next committee will also file. So 2-3 committees will do it. Then it may be possible to regularize the trustee reports.
So basically, what Hitesh is trying to tell here is that there is a certain set of activities that need to be done to regularize the IAA to be a formal body and the current or whosoever is in office to be recognized by the charity commissioner as well as the government. So all this process is being done. See, all this official legal work and all, it takes time. So it's being done. Now, in the
Even the similar situation happened in the Tiruvandas Trust. It's unbelievable, but it happened in that. And I think even IRMA also has some problem like that.
correct, even
Amul's in there's some societies in Amul which are also not having. So as long as Dr. Kurian was there, nobody was questioning. Now, like we have to remain as a legally compliant as per the requirements.
Hitesh, I would like to add here, it is not that when Dr. Kurian was there, nobody questioned. In fact, nobody filed the report. But when we took this, otherwise we also could have gone
Yeah,
without filing. But we thought, okay, let's first be the legally compliant. And that's why we took this initiative.
okay. Maybe like Richie, to cut the thing short,
Yeah.
I'll prefer like the doubts. We ready to take the
So
questions
basically,
from anyone.
Hitesh, doubts will come only when we make them aware of what exactly is the issue here. Why we are saying that we want all this information? Why we want to? I mean, why is somebody else shouting that we are illegal and we are, doing?
No, that is his birthright to call everyone else illegal. He was calling us illegal. He was calling previous committee illegal.
Right. So basically, see, I think all of
See,
us who are here, if you have any questions, I mean, any basic question, because we understand that a lot of us are not on track and things, I mean, when somebody shouts or we tell something, it becomes a little overwhelming for each one of us because we do not know what exactly the context is, and then we feel कि अरे इसके साथ नाइंसाफी हो गई है या इसने ऐसे सही कर दिया है, गलत कर दिया है. So, if you have any questions, we'll be happy to take them. Otherwise, maybe, we can give a little more context on the Nimen's, particularly Nimen's case.
Okay.
Exactly.
No, I would not like to dwell into the name. I would like to stick to.
Hitesh, I would like to
Hey,
add
second, Rahul, let
something.
me complete the sentence.
Uh,
See the point, what I am saying. Suresh, just hold on. Suresh, just hold on. I'll just say what we are trying to do. As far as earlier memorandum of association was, Suresh, can you switch off your audio if you don't mind? Okay. The point is like when this in earlier so-called constitution or memorandum of article of association, there is no provision for conducting online voting or online meetings. So the point is like if we want to, because of these situations, if anybody stickler to the law remains enforcing that the previous elections which were conducted online will also be held as illegal. That is the reason why the change was required to change in the bylaws, so that the bylaws which were made 38 years or 48 years back, in the current situation, many things have changed. All of us have learned the new way of life through the Zoom meeting, the type of meeting what we are having right now. So many
Hitesh,
things
I
are
think,
required for it.
Hitesh, we need to give a context about this. See, the bylaws are not changed, or any process that needs to be changed has a certain step-by-step procedure that need to be followed. And we have followed the procedure to change certain rules so that now online GBMs or online meetings or online
Okay.
voting can happen.
Richie, I got the first question. What made the returning officers stop elections? Suresh, honestly, I feel we got immune to all these colored capital letters, threats, and we decided to keep on working. Poor Anand Venkatesh and director, when they started having the bombardment day in, day out, he thought like there's something gone wrong and there's some illegalities. Now he also understands there's nothing like illegal. Otherwise, like as an institute, like last year election also is supposed to be null and void. Because it was online, our law or whatever the constitution or memorandum of article of association does not approve of that.
Rahul,
So
you want to add
I
something?
think just Richie, please.
let Hitesh.
The point, Suresh, is he got panicked. He went to director and they said, okay, he used the word ambiguity. We asked him, what is the ambiguity? He has no answer. Okay, we can keep on questioning. Please understand their situation as well. Anand's KRA or responsibility does not include the conduct of elections for IRMA. Even for director, the KRA is not IAA. So he got panicked and he said like, okay, we'll sort it out. We said, you tell us in writing what is ambiguity. We had a meeting with Anand and we had a meeting with director as well on the same to share our thought process. We are very keen that the process should be continued because earlier committee after 31st December, there is no provision for caretaker, there is no provision for who is going to conduct election. People are asking for EGM. Who is going to conduct EGM? Cribbing and criticizing is easier than something else.
Does the director have an authority to stop the election or this process?
No. But as for the
See,
constitution
this alumni association is our association. So primarily director, we have made him as a patron, but we have to run it. So how can somebody else come and say that, you know, you can do this or you cannot do this? So they actually do not have the right authority to do this.
Like who can be choose as patron? Only director or somebody else?
So that we have decided when this constitution committee was reworking on the constitution rules, we have discussed and decided that this is a good framework to begin with because there has to be someone to whom we can reach out to and we can go in case of any controversy or any discrepancy. There should be one person na कि भाई कुछ ऐसा हो जाए तो हम किसके पास चले जाएं पूछने के लिए.
Okay, now Mohan has joined. Mohan has worked on this bylaws last 2 years. He can throw more lights.
Yeah, what was the question? Can you, my apologies to all of you. I had a technical glitch. I am actually in a, little outside in Delhi and I had some issues. So apologies for being late. What is the question? Can you tell me?
I would like to add what Hitesh has said.
No, I don't know the question. Can you tell me the question?
Just let me add also the things which Hitesh was telling, then you can keep it. See, being in the society sectors and the cooperative society sector and having the experience of more than 40 years, that every time, as Hitesh was telling, that the change report we have to send. Change report is not the changes in the rules and regulations and bylaws. Changes is basically the changes in the trustees. That report was not sent for the last 38 years and we took the initiative. Secondly, as far as the rules and regulations are concerned, this is the well-written fact there that AGM is the supreme, even the AGM is the supreme body. Even in one of case in our state, Supreme Court too has made the judgment that annual general body meeting is a supreme body in case of the societies. So we have followed the procedure. Why the rules regulations, the need was there, that Hitesh has already told. Now the second point is the confusion which is being spread, that change report means the changes in the rules and regulations were rejected. That's not the case. Change report was the report, the election report which we sent. And since there was no record, the PTR is the sheet where they mention every year who are the trustees changed. But since that register was blank, so that's why the charity commissioner, at this moment, he said, no, you have to complete the whole record. We are working on it and the things can be condoned. Now the other issues that the RO returning officer objecting, that Hitesh has very well clarified. And the other issues which the black and white or the Eastman color bold letters are being issued, we never commented on those things. But the things, the external action which we were forced to do is when our insurance scheme was getting into soup. And if you say that, okay, the insurance scheme is bad, then be frank. Mohan, you can add now.
Just over here, a small add. I can assure you all, rather I don't need to. There's not even a 1 paisa hanky panky has taken place in the last financial year. We are ready to take any flack on that if anybody can prove it.
आजकल देश में आरोप लगाना बहुत आसान है.
Okay, that's all, like I. Please continue.
He has never submitted any documentary proof. And is it the language which supposedly that he is the
Rahul,
doctor?
let's
I
remain.
don't think
Let's
so. I
remain.
need to-
No,
Let's
listen,
keep.
listen.
Let's
Can I
keep the
come in?
guy
Can I
out.
come in?
We are at the point.
Can I come
But
in?
the
Can
things-
I allow me to speak, please?
Yeah.
So Richie, quickly frame the question for me.
See, the question is that,
Mohan, I just want to ask that now what is the way out, like to
No,
resolve
we
this
will come
crisis?
to that. We'll come to that. We will come to that. Just give me a minute. Just give me a minute. Yeah, Richie.
yeah, so basically the question is that why have the election been kind of halted, and what is happening? Why do we need an EGM?
Okay. Yeah. So it's like that. I also heard something about the patron. What was that?
Yeah,
Why
so
director has been made as a patron?
Okay. So let me take that first. Friends, the whole idea is that we have to have a perpetuity in the association. I hope all of you understand that, So what happens is, in case there is some kind of a vacuum, suppose we have had many vacuums like this, because elections are not done as per the constitution, as per the rules and regulations annually. So when we analyzed it and then we looked at multiple, you please understand that we looked at different alumni associations in India and abroad. And we had 12 people, one sitting in Europe, one sitting in US, and several people from batch 1 to 40 who actually drafted this amended bylaws. And we looked at multiple things. The whole idea, if you look at the bylaws, it is so comprehensive and inclusive. The only issue is there is a disciplinary clause in it. That is the only issue which we had to invoke because somebody wrote to the United India Insurance Company saying that the IRMA Alumni Association is informing you that this policy is infructuous, that it cannot be held by the IAA, and that you should immediately scrap it if it is issued, or if it not issued, it should not be issued. And it went to the chairman's office of that, and the chairman's office immediately wanted a response. That is the stage we had to invoke that particular provision. Don't think that the association bylaws were made because we wanted to do. We are not that small here. We will not be in this association if we were small like that. We are not small thinking people. Please understand that. That is one thing. Now, the second question was what? As far as the election postponement is concerned, see, what happened was when the women representative, there was no nominations. The time for that particular nomination was extended. And once it was extended, the returning officer came back to us and said that since this nomination is to be taken, we should give one or 2 days extra for that nomination process to complete. And he said, let us postpone the election a little bit, let us give some more time for the whole process. And then these letters started going to the director and the the returning officer saying that the change report has been rejected and therefore these bylaws are invalid. Now you see, friends, till the time the disciplinary action was invoked and this person was not allowed to compete, everyone is in the fray. Because the elections were announced as per the new bylaws, there was no problem. The problem arose only when one clause of that particular thing was invoked. So you see the intent behind all this. Please understand this. And we have no intention of arbitrarily removing anybody. That is not the purpose. So at that stage, this person wrote to us, the returning officer wrote to us that there is an ambiguity, into which we gave clear information that this is not the change report, is the change in the trustees, which has to be annually updated. We are the only one after the founding of this association in 1986. We are the only committee which actually gave the change report. So we are in the right. But since the previous committees did not do it, the charity commissioner told us that now we cannot take your one in the absence of the remaining 36. You understand the point? And therefore, there is no problem. There is no problem. There is a condonation process. It takes about 1.5 to 2 years. It's a legal process. We will make an appeal. That appeal will be heard. After the appeal, if it is rejected, we will by the Joint Commissioner in Baroda. Then we will move to the district court. The court, we will ask for a condonation. The court, after hearing everything, after satisfying that this is a bona fide association, without the proof of previous elections, 99.9% of the cases, the court will approve it. But if there is somebody who is going to create huge problems about this association not being a valid association, not being a genuine association, not being an authentic association, then the court will ask for more and more and more of proof. So this, I do not know where it will go. But in the normal process, 99.9% of the case, the court gives a condonation. After the condonation, whichever is the committee of the year, that particular year, will get updated in the PTR. But in the process, we must continue to do the elections as per the bylaws. So this is the position. So there is no issue as far as the association is concerned. It is a valid association. It is a non-compliant association. It is a non-compliant entity. That is a problem. Now we have to make it compliant, for which you need a reasonably good executive committee, whomsoever you choose. As far as the validity is concerned, it is very clear that we have what we call a constitution. We have listed there something which is undoable. I talked to some of the original proposers of this particular constitution which you call. I asked them, in 1986, did you have the names and postal addresses of everybody in the association? They said even in 1986, they did not have it. How do you do a postal ballot? So you have a methodology which is undoable. In the next centuries to come, we will not be able to do it. So we went to the AGM. That is a supreme body. As Rahul said, there are a number of court decisions, precedences and decisions. So that is where we stand. And we have not been we have been working democratically. See, now there are people, like for example, yesterday we got a mail in our official ID saying that the only decision of the EGM that is acceptable to us is an EGM which will decide like this. Is that democracy? You people have to decide what you think is the right thing, and we will accept whatever it is. Tomorrow you come and tell me that CP Mohan should not stand for elections. I will obey that. I will 100% obey that. I have, any of us for that matter. No issue.
Mohan, I
And
can
one more
add
thing.
something here.
Let me complete one more thing. And as far as the continuity of the trustees are concerned or the EC is concerned, there are several court decisions where, in the absence of an immediate election, the committee incumbent committee continues. This is the law. This is the position of law. And let me tell you why it is a position of law. The position of law is so that if there is a negative charge on that association, then the incumbent committee has to respond to it. Suppose a summons come, The incumbent committee has to respond to it. You cannot say that my term was over till the election is over. That is a position. So I hope, yeah, somebody wanted to come in. Yeah.
I think, yes, Rafi, please say what you have to say.
Yeah, hi, good evening, everybody. Firstly, I think a commendable work by Mohan and team, wherein what I have seen a noticeable change whilst I myself have been out of many of the so-called alumni activities and work. But I definitely sense a change from the previous committees, as Mohan also pointed out, that a lot of things had not been done since '86. In fact, I was the one that went hammer and tongs on some previous committees as to whether the balance sheets have been filed, where are the financial statements, where are the minutes of the meeting. Well, I think you guys have done a commendable job. Now, coming back to the core issue, which is essentially on the elections, we have three large agendas, resolutions that have been done. First is the conduct of elections as per the announcement, which is fair enough. The second is the extension for 5 days, and which also is a fair proposal. And I don't think as to why there should be any problems on that. Coming to the third thing, Mohan, this is my very personal view here, is that absolutely. I mean, I've been on the receiving end with those bold and italics and a lot of mails. Well, I chose to ignore them largely because it didn't make sense to me in most of the cases, because I realized there was something wrong with the person, and I said, fine enough. Let's be fair. I mean, if somebody wants to keep sending a mail despite you telling him, please don't include me in the group, and so on and so forth, and if the person continues to do it, I mean, there's a limit. And but as far as the action in terms of suspension, Mohan, my personal view is that at times there could be genuine observations, genuine questions being raised. Say, for example, whilst I didn't want to speak on it, but I did raise the issue of the website amount, and I think the previous committees have paid some exorbitant amount of money. And I think, well, that's past the burn. Let me consider I put it back in the back burner. But what happens in such genuine issues is that a precedent might be created wherein, the issue of suspending a member becomes such a bad precedent. You remove him from the group, communications, fine. But I somehow have my doubts and my reservations on suspending a member, which has now become the bone of contention as far as organizing this election is concerned, because it might stop a lot of people.
Rafi, let me, sorry, I'm interjecting over here. Our point is like.
Let him complete. Let him complete, please.
So I just don't want this to set a precedent of suspending a member, all said and done. Because there are certain things which the concerned person can be taken to task individually through a criminal procedure, which is beyond suspensions. The person can be taken away from a group. It can be taken off the so-called Facebook platform and so on and so forth. I've been taken off so many times myself, so I can recount on that. But yes, it shouldn't happen in a way that tomorrow something genuinely happens and somebody genuinely steps up and asks a question, and he undergoes something like this. Good enough to say this one, but I'm not in resolution for the. Definitely, the person deserves much more than a suspension, but I just don't want this to set a wrong precedent. Maybe you folks are democratic, you understand what it is, you got a larger heart, but understand that everybody may not go by that yardstick that you have set for yourself. Well, that's my personal observation, and I would keep it at that. Thanks.
Thanks, Rafi. Before Mohan starts reacting, I'll put it. See, many of those letters which you have got very, very little. Mohan and Rahul have been in the committee receiving lot, and we had a good opportunity to talk to him as well. When he started writing, we wanted to resolve the issues. I spoke to at least all four of the people personally. Number one, he was given full opportunities to present his way of thinking. He, instead of recognizing the elected body to say, put his point of view, he decided to call duly elected body as a illegal body and decided not to respond to any of that show cause notice. If I'm sure, I'm 100% sure on that, in case he would not have written to the United India Insurance about the welfare scheme or whatever we thought it is good for all its months, for which I joined this IAC. I'm sure we would not have taken that. Just to prove his point, or if he want to decide agenda, how the institute should be run or how IAC should be run, I'm sorry. If the people have put the faith in us, leave it to us. And in case of controversies, we are ready to open. Right now as well, instead of attending the EGM, he is propagating, let's boycott the EGM, so that he will again get a chance. I gave a boycott call, only 100 people attended, 3,900 people boycotted, hence resolution is passed, this is illegal EGM. Is this a way to work? How long we'll keep on working? We are in a position we could ignore him. But think of Prasanna Thete and Sanjay Tripathi. They were under tremendous mental pressure. He always threatening them, I'll write to your employers. I'm not bothered
Well,
because
let me not come back to the previous ones. Prasanna, definitely I respected
No,
the board.
one minute.
So I will not get into
Yeah,
that discussion. Yeah.
Yeah,
So,
yeah. Please let Mohan probably clarify, Rafi, because Mohan may be able to tell us a little more on this one. Yeah, Mohan, please.
Rafi, am I audible?
Yes.
Rafi, let me tell you, we had to take some action because we were contacted by, before the email from the UIIC, the United India came to us, because they had pressure from the chairman's office. The chairman's office told them that, look here, they were doing the affinity group for the first time. And the chairman's office told them that, see, look here, ye janjat mein mat pado if there is a problem. Okay. And then we had to explain the whole process to them. And then we told them, you do one thing, you write a letter to us. And then they said, it is an internal matter, but however, we would like you to clarify the matter. At that stage, they sent us a letter, and they informally on the phone, they said that, but while you are saying this, am I audible to all of you?
Yes.
When you are saying that you represent the IAA, we have got another letter saying that this is a notice of caution and something from the IRMA Alumni Association. This is an impersonation. It is a criminal act. We could have given a criminal petition. Now, what we did was we had to then show to them that we are the elected body. So we send them the website, we send them our, we had updated everything on the website by that time. We send them the election notice, we send them the election results, we send them the final, the process of election. All these documents were sent to them, and that is how they were appeased. That is the time. Please do not be under the impression that I have been on the receiving end of this diatribe ever since I started standing for the election last year. We have not acted on personal bias. It is unfortunate that there is a personal bias created. I did not create it. Rahul did not create it. Hitesh did not create it. Somebody came and started naming us. Now, and these, and the whole of this association has been completely taken away into a line of conversation about one individual's whims and fancies. So please understand that this is not the way. Now, Rafi, I fully respect what you're saying, that we should not have suspended or whatever. Now you see, when you are on the hot seat, you take a decision. Now you elected us. You elected us with all our, all our infirmities, with all our lack of wisdom, with all our ignorance, along with our capabilities. This is the way we thought we have to act. But there was a methodology available in that very same bylaws, which says that 100 of us can come together and call for an EGM and ask us to reconsider this particular decision. Even if 20 people had come to us, 20 people had written to us, we would not have waited for 100. We would have taken an easy mandate. There is an easy mandate to call an EGM in the new constitution, in the new bylaws. We would have invoked that and called an EGM. Nobody came. Why don't we, when you are accusing us, when people are accusing of us of bias, when people are accusing that we are arbitrary, that we are autocratic, please understand, none of the personal allegations we have responded. Our response is not because we have stolen money from all of you. Our response was because we thought that we have other things to do. We must continue. We must not fracture this association. That is a purpose. Now, when you say that a suspension is a bad precedence, believe me, I have no doubt about it. I have had a career of around 40 years, and I have had several people had to go away from work, but everybody was asked to resign and go. Nobody has ever got a letter of dismissal from me. I'm aware of what you're saying. But we were under, we had to, you tell me, should we not have taken some action to protect 1,300 people who opted for this insurance? And as Adesh said, if you think, as Rahul said, if we think we have done a wrong thing, we are in the wrong. Then we accept it. We are willing to face anything which you people say. Come to the EGM. You ask us to do anything, we will do that. We have no issues. We have no love for all this power or anything. Absolutely nothing. Let me just come back to one point which you raised about the website. The previous website. See, so many audits have gone by. So many general bodies have gone by. No general body has raised, nobody has raised this issue in any of the general body meetings. No auditor has. Now, people come to us and say,
Mohan, we lost you in the last line. Please, can you just repeat?
I am saying, after that 10 lakh rupees or whatever was paid for that website creation, which is defunct, several general body meetings were held. None of the general body meetings, this point was raised. So many audits were over. None of the audits pointed this out. When we took over, one or two people come and say that this is your mandate. Investigating this is your mandate. We said very clearly, right in the beginning, we said, we are not here to look, unnecessarily expose previous things and all that. We will only see all those kind of actions will only fracture our association, fracture our society, because we are pointing unnecessary fingers at other people after several years, several general body meetings. Otherwise, even today, I am saying, let somebody give us a resolution, an agenda item to investigate it. We will put it to vote and decide what, and then accept whatever the vote comes. Is not that the method? Can one or two people say something and we should be taken by that? Now, Professor Raju, he says that this association has no mandate to take welfare measures. Now, do we go by one individual? Anybody will say something, and that is how a democratic institution functions. Who is being non-democratic? Are we being non-democratic? Or are somebody, one or two people who wants to be autocratic and saying that they are democratic.
When
Now you
Raju
look
was there in IDMA for so many years, what he contributed to IA, I'll have the audacity to ask.
and not only that, Hitesh, from April onwards, see, from June, July 2021 onwards, we have been repeatedly writing to everybody, whomsoever we can, where we have emails, asking them on opinions on this constitution we were redrafting. And we got several people talked to us, several people emailed us. This constitution committee contained an IAS officer. It contained the people from development sector, every sector, or every 1 to 40 batches were represented. All of it was and several meetings were held. Drafts were circulated. On April 8th, this particular constitution, both, was circulated to every single individual for whom an email was available to us. Not once, twice. It was uploaded on the website. I mean, you can't say that, how can you people say these things like this here?
I think Mohan, let's proceed further on, forget about the past. Let's see what can be done. Like, any questions on that, please?
Well, I have one last question.
Please.
In response to Mohan. Now, I mean, I totally get the drift in terms of what you intend to say. But the only thing is that assuming the first two resolutions go past, now the third resolution, for some reason or the other, assume that it doesn't happen. Okay, it goes against nobody. Let's say that there's a majority which believes that well, the third resolution doesn't need to go. What happens in that situation? Is that a block? Is that going to be something that's going to halt the process moving forward?
No. Let me tell you, Hitesh, let me clarify. If the elections do not take place, if you go by the law, whatever is the EC, whichever is the EC currently in position.
Mohan, you are on mute.
No, Mohan, I'll just rephrase that question. I'm not speaking about the elections. Like, everybody agrees that election.
Hello?
We are lost Rafi as well.
The second resolution is also okay. Let's say it's been done. But the third resolution, which is on Nimachar and Biswal, is not approved for some reason. Do we go back into a tailspin again on the elections in that case?
Yes.
No. We have told very clearly. See, suppose the people say that his suspension should be revoked. No problem. He will come back into the election fray. He will come back into the election fray. And if the people say that he has to be expelled, then obviously it's not part of the IAA. It's a clear decision. And as far as the bylaws are concerned, we have clearly told the director and the RO that even earlier, see, for example, there is no joint secretary. You have been conducting elections. There is no joint secretary in the old rules. There is no international representative. You have been conducting. We have been, these people are asking us to hold a VC meeting. How will you hold it? So we held the previous SGM and the AGM on physical mode because we commissioner, the charity commissioner stroke the registrar would ask whether it was conducted as per the rules in place. That is the only reason. We knew this in advance because we were consulting on this. They told us that everything you do with respect to these rules and bylaws, etc., you should do exactly as written in your bylaws. That is, it was not to avoid anybody. And it is not as if in VCs we have had hundreds of people. In video conferencing also, earlier also, we had 20, 25 people only coming in.
Today's strength is 46.
Today's strength is 46. Our AGM, after the quorum period, the final number was 53. That was the only time in 36 years that a full quorum AGM was held. Show
So,
me
sir,
a result anyway, any other way.
it was 56, sir, not 53.
56 people. In 36 years, that was the only one with a quorum.
So I think lastly, Mohan, I think it's all. I think
Ruchi.
I've got a fair point. My only request is that we are a family, and let these things not come into. I understand what he's done, and he will continue to do what he's currently doing. And I think from our side, let's have a large heart. And let's not
One minute. I am sorry, I am interrupting. You tell, every one of you tell me that we are a family. Where was this family when I was being abused? Is this how families work? No. Let me ask you. Is this the way families work? That a senior member would be abused ad nauseam, incessantly, without break, every single day, morning and evening. I get, I must have got how many notices? It is, I am not a guy who gets flustered very easily because I have gone through huge challenges in life, both professionally, personally. That is not the issue. What I'm trying to tell you is all these emotive things like family, etc. Everything has got a balance. Why do you have a law against domestic violence? If family were so supreme, why do we have old age homes? Now, the point I'm trying to say that it is easy to sit back and say all this. But when you are in the hot seat, certain decisions have to be taken. They may be, and I am not saying those decisions are the best decisions. I am not even saying that they are the right decisions, but it is bona fide. All I am telling you, all of you, is that it is not malified. We may be wrong. I am not saying we are always right. We may be wrong, but we are not malified.
Mohan, can I say something, Mohan?
Yeah, please go ahead.
Now, you see, whatever is done, and the person is there for us to believe he is there. So let the EGM be the judge of everything, and let him contest, and let him try. If he doesn't want to contest, let him keep quiet. It's very simple, no?
Dingo, he is not even going to attend the
Let us
AGM.
bring on the AGM. Whatever happens there, we will know. And we will know what to talk. Because this, people trying to become suddenly that the EC is very prominent, that everybody wants to have a chance to become president and vice president. So it's not like that. There is certain good things that have been done by this EC. And there are certain things on the agenda, and nobody else is capable of delivering those right now. So not only me, thousands of alumni like me are very keen to resolve this issue and impasse and go ahead with the election. And if Niman wants to stand, let him stand. If MB Rao wants to stand, let him stand. Whatever happens, let it happen. And we know what we are going to do when the time comes to vote. So I don't think there is any other solution than the EGM itself, where we have to raise our voice that stop all these stupid things and go for election.
Dingo, the call is already on to boycott this EGM as well. He doesn't want to give proof.
So I
Hitesh,
think I would also like to respond to what Jairam sir is saying.
Hitesh, Ruchi, I have to go. I am actually in the middle of a function. I have not, they are repeatedly calling me. So my humble request, my humblest of request to all of you, everyone present here is, please ensure that each of you get at least 10 or 15 of your close friends at least to register for the EGM. And
that's right.
43 into 5 or 43 into 10 is 400, 500 people. Bring them into the EGM. Please decide whichever way you want to decide. Absolutely. We will have absolutely no say in it. We will not doctor anything. I promise you that.
Yes. That's
On
good.
the strength of my 40 years of career, I promise you that. There won't be one thing doctored in what happens there. I mean, you have to believe somebody here.
Yes.
Mohan, we all trust that.
Bring everybody, bring
Mohan,
more and more people.
We are all together in this, and we are trying to find a solution. The solution is the EGM, where we can raise our voice to the IRMA director and RO that this is what we want, and anybody else says anything is not what we want.
Absolutely. So bring more and more people. All of
Yes,
you
yes.
bring 10 people
Yeah.
each. You have batchmate, you have friends. I have more than around 200 people on my phone list, Irman, personal phone.
Yeah.
So please use that. I am not using too much because I am a interested party. So all of
No,
you
no, it's
do that.
okay.
Bring
We'll
more and
do
more
that. We'll do
people,
that.
even
We'll
for
do
the
that.
elections. Please, we will reopen the registration. The registration is required. Let me again clarify to all of you, because we whenever there is an electronic process, there has to be a available data. Now we can pre-feed the data, but we do not have that kind of information, and we do not have the wherewithal to do it. If you give us more time, in the next time, if we are there, we will ensure you that there will be a preferred member list on which the elections will be held. Thank you so much. I need to go. Thank you so much. And
Well done, Mohan.
bear with
I
us
think,
for whatever we have done. What if we have done something wrong, please kindly bear with us.
yeah, Mohan, good. Thank you very much. It's
I
all
would
that
like
we
to,
want to say has been done.
yeah, Digankar sir. I would like to
Yes.
just take on one or two questions that have come on the chat here before we quickly wrap up in few minutes. I think Manveer sir has said why he cannot be given a walkover to prove his mettle. Sir, I think we are following the rules, and the rules say that once he is suspended, there is nobody who can do anything about it but the general body. So that is how we have called upon an EGM, where the general body gets to decide what they want. They want to give whatever they want to give. Like Mohan said, whatever you want to give, you give. We also want to close this chapter. It's like really becoming very long now. The next question is that has anyone tried to reach out to NCB? Yes, multiple times we have reached out to him personally. The EC members, a lot of them have spoken to Nimen, and we have tried our best to understand. But you know, the circle kind of keeps getting completed. He comes back to the same point every few days. So it's the same thing, and we have tried what we could. And like Mohan said, I think I would also like to reassure everyone who is present here that there is nothing personal here. There has never been any personal vendetta against anybody. We have always followed the book. We only were forced to take an action because the 1300 people who subscribed to the insurance policy, we could not have let it go waste. We could not have let the money go waste of the people, the hard earned money of, there are a lot of people who themselves could not buy the insurance policy. A lot of our IRMAN members have supported people to buy insurance policies, and you would have seen, I am sure you would have seen at various occasions, various groups, various instances, people have been benefiting from this policy. We could not have let it go waste. So there was no option. Believe Mohan and the entire IAA team when we say that we definitely had no option but to invoke a clause where we had to suspend him. Suspension is not expulsion. I would like to clarify. I think a lot of us do not have a clear-cut idea what has happened to him. We have only suspended him. We have put a pause. A comma is there. It's not a full stop. The full stop can only be provided by the general body. We, as a executing body, we do not have that kind of a power to close everything. So it is up to you. Yes. And Rafi, you are saying my presumption, he may not attend the EGM and then say he will not give in a hearing. Well, I think it's not about the hearing anymore, because he has sent us so many emails, so many notices. I don't see a reason why we have not heard him, and he is welcome. We have never said that he cannot come and join the EGM. Please ask him to join the EGM. We do not have any reservations about that.
Anyway, the
Yeah,
boycott call is going
I
on.
hope that doesn't put a block in your work going ahead. So be prepared. I mean, I've seen a lot of such people before. So prepared for everything because
Yes, Rafi.
it shouldn't become another sport. And
We ignored
just
this
be prepared for
completely.
this.
Yes, Rafi, we completely agree with you. See, we as an executive body, we did not respond at all. Please understand that we did not have a choice at a certain point in time. And that is how we
No,
had
no,
to
no.
make
I
a
mean,
certain.
you've taken a decision. Well, then that's fine. No clarifications on that. My only request he doesn't back saying that I wasn't given a chance. So I think we need to back it up accordingly. Please be prepared for it. You know, I mean,
Rafi,
that's my
I'll
entire
just
hunch.
add it over here. All our mails for the invitation are going to him as well. Like, and I'll make it sure personally, he'll also get the invite to EGM.
Perfect, 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 perfect. See, the guy is capable of anything, so just be prepared.
Yeah, the guy, he's
That's-
already
that's
started,
what I can say.
he has already started his forte, boycotting the EGM.
Rafi, we are getting contempt notice. We are getting the legal notices every day.
Every day, Rafi, you have no idea. And I think, I don't know about others, I have stopped reading because it's just impossible to read so many notices.
No, I do read sometimes for entertainment.
So, well, if that's your version of entertainment, I think you really have some patience for it.
What to do, like, because we are dealing with so many people, like.
See, Rafi, giving a boycott call, does it amount to a no confidence motion? But he is stick to it and has been calling us the illegal and whatnot. Corrupt,
limit
illegal.
होती है ना यार, मतलब what all, how much you can say, उसका भी सीमा नहीं. This guy
I'm
really
quite
has-
surprised. The other people are, see, the disconnect started in the beginning itself. I can tell you, Rafi. I think like we met in the last CEO conference. We had no time to discuss.
No, sir. I met you in Ahmedabad
Okay,
way
maybe.
back 2000. I'd organized a get together in Ahmedabad.
Okay,
Okay.
I think Shilpa has a question. Shilpa, would you like to ask your question?
Yeah, so I asked this question already on the chat and Hitesh sir responded to it. So my sense is that what all options would be generated for as options for voting should be floated before itself. So people realize and understand that in the legal framework, whatever is possible, right? So in my mind, I was thinking that not boycotting, but expulsion from the alumni network was like he would never ever come back, right? But now once Richie tells this, now I realize the difference between expulsion versus what was that the other one which you said?
Suspension.
Suspension, yeah, suspension. So I did not know the difference here in the rules of the alumni. So we need to know those options in the legal framework, what they are before we go into the EGM, so we understand what is possible as alumni network for us to vote.
But in fact,
And
suspension is done for just to remove a person from his the area of operation, so that he does not involve or does not affect the inquiry process.
Yeah, so
Not a
Rahul,
punishment. In
because
the
you
terms, it is
understand
not
that
punishment.
there will be many people like me who don't understand the difference.
Yeah, and that is exactly the reason why we have put this meeting up, Shilpa. I think somebody had asked initially also, why is this meeting there? Is it to garner votes for a certain kind of a thing that you want
Nothing.
to float towards? But that is definitely not the idea. The idea is to clarify, because ज्यादातर लोगों को पता ही नहीं है कि what is this hue and cry about? हम क्यों चिल्ला रहे हैं? और
So
सामने वाला
I'm
क्यों
with
चिल्ला रहा है,
you.
वो भी पता नहीं है.
Yeah, so I'm with you, Richie, for a more successful outcome of that EGM, and for people to have more informed understanding of this. Just show us what are the 4 or 5 options which we would vote for, right? And
Sure.
we understand so then people would come with an implication and pro and con for each of it,
Right.
and you would see it garnering more,
So I can assure you one thing right away is that whatever options will be there, those options will be according to the rules that are available. We
You
cannot
show us those
random
options now itself, Richie.
Hmm.
रिची मैं ये बोल रही हूँ वो सीजीएम के पहले वो ऑप्शंस पहले हमको बताओ
और जो
हमने
हमने
ये
नोटिस
बहुत
भेजा
सुन
ना
लिया।
शिल्पा उसमें है।
अरे जा गरीजा
नोटिस में है ऑप्शन।
तो हमने नोटिस का ड्राफ्ट भेजा है ना आपको,
अच्छा
आप उसमें
ओके
देख लो,
सॉरी आई डिड
सब
नॉट
दिया
सी
हुआ है।
दोस ऑप्शंस।
एक्चुअली हमारा कंसर्न ही वही है, क्योंकि हम जो भी लिखते हैं वो पढ़ते नहीं हैं, और जो वो लिखते हैं वो
आपका
शायद आप
सिग्नल खराब
एंटरटेनमेंट
है
के लिए पढ़
रिची।
लेते हैं, तो उसकी वजह से हमारा मैसेज पूरा नहीं जाता।
ओके क्लियर क्लियर।
Anybody else question? Jail Singh, I can see you.
Anybody has any other query as
नहीं
far
सर।
as क्या रहा है?
मुझे लगा कि पता नहीं, I
है?
was on mute, sir. Sorry, I was on mute and my camera was also off. But thanks for noticing.
ऐसे ऐसे करोगे?
अरे नहीं नहीं नहीं, I was actually trying to garner support on some other groups के भाई join करो. This is more important than other topics.
Well, I think if we want to continue the IA in positive manners, at least there should be more than 500 people should be there in the AGM.
Like whatever the decision is taken, people realize that the good people are good number of people have backed their decision.
Because sometimes it happens that people support but they do not attend, and they keep silence. Silence is generally considered as the support.
Right.
Okay. Anybody else?
किसी और को कुछ भी पूछना है? मनवीर सर, आपका क्वेश्चन क्लैरिफाई किया मैंने। अजय,
अब रजिस्ट्रेशन कब शुरू हो रहा है वापस?
खत्म हो गया है, हम फिर से डिस्कस। हितेश, व्हाट इज आवर?
I had spoken to RO again, and I wanted him to start the registration for voting again. And what has been decided, once the EGM is done, so that will give the direction, and immediately after that, registration for the voting will be opened again.
See, my suggestion is that you should like appoint a representative from every batch na, to encourage people to attend the GBM so that the number will be increased.
अमित, आपका बैच कौन सा है?
25.
25। तो आपके बैच में तो इशू नहीं है, अमित इज देयर।
Yeah.
बैचेस में ना, बहुत सारे बैचेस में हमको ये चैलेंज आता है, एंड वी आर रियली स्ट्रगलिंग ऑन दिस इशू सिंस पास्ट 1 full year। तो आपके पास कुछ सजेशन है तो प्लीज थोड़ा हमें हेल्प कीजिए ना।
आपका वॉइस ब्रेक हो गया था बीच में, क्या बोल रहे हो?
मैंने कहा कि वी हैव बीन फेसिंग दिस प्रॉब्लम सिंस पास्ट 1 full year। तो अगर कोई सजेशन है इस पे कैसे हम एग्जीक्यूट कर सकते हैं, प्लीज हेल्प कीजिए थोड़ा।
मेरा वही सजेशन है रिची की, जो भी एक्टिव मेंबर्स है ना, एक्टिव एलुमनी है फ्रॉम ईच बैच, तो उनको करके हम, ताकि वी कैन इंक्रीज आवर टैली ना फॉर जीबीएम। तो उनसे करेंगे तो बिकॉज इट इज नॉट पॉसिबल फॉर यू टू कांटेक्ट ईच एंड एवरी एलुमनी, तो बैच वाइज जो बाइफर्केशन कर देंगे तो थोड़ा इजी होगा।
Absolutely. So we will do that, but also on a very humble note, we also want to say कि हम सब अपनी अपनी full time काम, business और नौकरियां कर रहे हैं, हमारे लिए practical नहीं है। मैं सुबह 6 बजे से उठ के मार्केट गई हुई हूँ, मैं आके I wanted to sleep because I have fever, but हमारे पास ऑप्शन नहीं था, आपके साथ हमको कॉल करना जरूरी था, because we realized that people do not know what is the situation। तो
रिची एक सेकंड
आ जाते हैं।
Rafi, when I said like he'll get the invite, I just got a mail from him. He has put the PDF of our EGM notice, not accepting that. So here he knows the EGM is going to happen, but he may decide not to join.
If there is anybody who would like to support us in spreading the message to other groups, please please let me know, reach out to me please। I will definitely need a lot of help and lot of support।
Sanjeeva Jha,
Viren also has
see at
for
least
the
attending
boycott,
that.
So Richi, एक चीज बताओ कि इसमें कोई मिनिमम कोरम है क्या ईजीएम के लिए?
सर इसका
Min-
प्रोसेस ये होता है ना कि there is a minimum quorum number that is required. Rahul, can you tell me the number that is needed?
As per the bylaws, minimum quorum is required is 50. But
50.
the clause says
I'm sure you will have more
that
than
you
that.
just suppose you call the meeting at 11 o'clock. If quorum is not complete, you postpone the meeting for half an hour, and after that, the quorum requirement is not there.
Okay. It's okay. Let's take up the issues in the AGM. No, that's okay.
Yeah, that's what we have kept it in the meeting. notice.
Yes. That's right. It's okay. I know what we should do. Huh?
Okay, thanks, yeah.
All right. Okay. Thank you.
Anyone else has any other question? Anything that you would like to ask, clarify? No, कि क्या हो रहा है, क्यों ऐसे लिखते हो? अजय आपका क्वेश्चन का आंसर मिल गया?
Yes, I think you have planned to address that question.
Okay.
One request to all of you, please now answer the questions of your other colleagues or other classmates if they are not here. They also might be having the similar questions.
Actually, yeah, and if there is any query, you can send it on any group, preferably if you can tag me, or you can send your queries to me. Happy to get some answers for you all, or maybe if we want, we can arrange another session like this for people who would be interested to know for.
You can mail us.
Ruchi, Naresh here. Hello.
Yes, Naresh. Yes, please.
Yeah, sorry, I joined the conversation. Great to see all the guys, all of you guys there. Just one quick thing. I noted a couple of issues, but just what worried me was the insurance thing. I mean, is there a problem with that? I mean, is that valid for us?
Okay. Are you a subscriber to the insurance scheme?
Yes, I have.
Even I am. Don't worry. Nothing is going to happen.
Naresh already replied on the same. It'll be
Okay.
renewal will be ensured. About the new members, I will revert.
But that's
But the
but
new
that's
members,
right.
but the new members of the new batch, they will be already.
Sir, I'm asking whether it is active. Is it active? Is it all right?
It is, yeah,
Active.
very much,
It is
very
fully
much.
active, and
But
it
I
will
don't want
continue.
you to claim it. Don't worry.
Okay. Sure, sir. Thank you.
आपको claim करने की जरूरत नहीं पड़ेगी, नरेश.
Okay.
Sure, thank you.
I don't want any one of us to claim. It is only insurance is like a umbrella. You keep it. It may be useful when it rains. That's all. Like.
So they have.
renew तो हो जाएगा ना अभी?
Yes.
There have been a lot of queries on
Yeah,
whether new people can join.
Richie,
the
Ajay is
insurance.
asking something.
Yeah. I'm just answering his question. There have been a lot of.
I'm just suggesting something that what just came to my mind that why don't you just make a one-page FAQ on these things what we discussed today and float it around, because that will get a lot of traction and people to come to EGM. एक FAQ छोटा सा एक page का, not too long, maximum 2 page on a PDF, if it can be circulated today or tomorrow. I think this will go into each of the batches WhatsApp group, and in the bottom you can just put an appeal of just putting a consequence of not attending the EGM. In that same what do you call it, a small note which we are preparing of FAQs, either as a preamble or at the end of it.
Okay.
So the
Good.
consequence,
See how we can work on it.
yeah, you can just put a 1 page or 2 page FAQs and make it very crisp so that people don't read like reading a TAU again. A small FAQ should do.
Sure, we'll work on it, Ajay. Thank you.
Okay, I think like we Thanks everyone for this time.
Yeah, I was just trying to ask, are you guys okay now? Do you have any other question? Please do let me know. We are here. Otherwise, we can connect anytime. You can reach out to us anytime. Okay, sure. If we do not have any further questions, shall we close?
Thank you,
Okay, good
Ricky.
night, everyone.
Okay,
Thank you.
thank you everyone. Good night.
Okay, good
Bye-bye.
night.